Well, hello, friends. I am laying here getting ready to take a nap. What happened to May? I feel like May is always that month that is just out of control. I don't know if it's because it's like the beginning of our heat, if it's that school's out and all of that stuff like graduations. I know I get seasonal depression at times during the winterish times when we switch from summer to winter, so I don't know if that could possibly be the situation. But I did look in my calendars of years past, and I'm happy to say that I'm very consistent. Apparently I don't really do well in May. I tend to get off course severely in all directions. The good news is that my dialysis does not get off course. I still have to do it every day. I did have a visitor. Carmelita came with Mr. Gus, and that was super fun. So I really enjoy when they visit because, of course, we don't see them all the time. But it's also very sad when they go home because we enjoy them visiting so much. And it was really cool actually to see Gus and Charlie play together, and in some ways how 2 months makes such a difference in their development. Gus goes to daycare, so he is really easily entertained, and he knows how to say no and not share, and that's fine. Charlie, on the other hand, doesn't go to daycare, and it's kind of like his world is just us, right? All of us. So in a lot of ways, he's not used to having someone his size tell him no. So that was interesting. But overall, they're really cool together because they both independently play, and they don't really depend on each other to play together, but they're willing to play in the same room with each other's toys. So it was all cool. But once we got home to Tucson, I dropped Ben off to his dad's, and then I came home, and I had to do a little bit of running around. But once I got home, I could tell when I walked in the door that Smokey was really sad. And he's like mopey. Even though at some points he kind of looked at me like, why are there two little kids? And both of them love him. So they both always want to lay on top of him or, poke his nose or something. And there's a couple times I actually put him in my room and made him stay on my bed just to give him a break. But he's a nanny pit, so he always wants to be out here in the way, but he wants to know that they're okay. And he doesn't like it when they cry. He gets really antsy about that, but he doesn't bark, and he doesn't, of course, bite or anything. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet. It feels sad. The other day I was hanging up some pictures of mine right there. And I love this one of Gus and River. Where's my finger? Right there. So cute! Let me see if I can zoom in a little more. Ah, so cute. Anyways. So, I stepped up on my stool, and I stepped off of it and went straight to the floor. And it's only like maybe 2 feet up. I think it's like 1.5 feet high. So it's just a little house stool, you just get on it and I can hang up my pictures and stuff. And it really freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, I almost fell. Which made me laugh because when I go to DaVita or typically any doctor's office, they ask me if I ever feel dizzy or nauseous or if I've fallen. And I always associate falling with like being really elderly. So I always giggle. I'm like, no, I haven't fallen. But that day I was like, oh, now I can say I almost fell. And then about 10 minutes later, I got back up on the stool And this time I remembered I was on the stool because I went to step backwards to look at my hanging. And as I stepped down, I remembered and I caught that bottom step, but my shin scraped the edge of the step. So I had a pretty nice bruise and some scrapies. But that was it. But how dumb. I'm like, I don't know how I did that. Like, how do you forget that you're standing on something and then go to get off? I don't know. Maybe that's part of brain fog. Maybe I don't know. I don't get it. But nonetheless, my pictures have still stayed up, and that's half the battle. I was fasting these next couple of days. Started yesterday. Last night I had a piece of homemade sourdough bread, and Donnie's sourdough bread loaf are mini breads loaves. So he defrosted one last week, and so we've been kind of eating a little bit of it every day. And then yesterday I noticed that I think it's going to go bad. So I went ahead and ate a piece, even though I was supposed to be fasting. And I had a little bit of butter on it. It was just so delicious. And it's a very small loaf. So it's not even like regular size. I want to say it is a mini loaf. I don't know. Anyways, it wasn't a big piece, but I had that. And then today when I went downstairs, my son had given me a pillow he had ordered. And so when I went down to get it, he's like, oh, by the way, I have an extra one of these. And so he gave me a sandwich. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be fasting. But I didn't want to say no to his gracious offer. Because if you have adult kids, you know that when they do think of you, you respond positively. So I was like, thanks. So I went ahead and ate the sandwich, which makes me eat before 4 o'clock. So maybe that's what I can do. And then tomorrow we'll see what happens because I just don't know. My plan is always like, I'm going to fast. And then something happens. The other thing I realized is in my fasting situation is, which I did not do in the month of May very well at all. Because I realized I don't like to waste the food. So I'm trying to be really conscious this month when I put in my fries order, which I did today because today is Friday, and I get that those gas points, which are phenomenal. Then I just got what we're definitely going to eat. And next week I'll have Ben back, so that should mean... So it should all work out. But I didn't want to over-purchase groceries because let's say for some weird reason I don't have Ben back, then I'll just go ahead and fast next week. But if I've bought like all this stuff to make like my cucumber, tomato, avocado salad snack, then I don't want it to go to waste. So I was really, really, really specific this time. In fact, I ended up purchasing mostly meat because roasts were on sale for $3.97 a pound. So I'm excited about that. And then lamb was on sale, and so I grabbed that too. So my bill wasn't very high, but at the same time, I got things that I could freeze in the event that Ben doesn't come next week. Then I can go ahead and fast next week and try it again. Although I am proud of myself, last night Donnie had band practice, which was unexpected. And so I actually took Smokey out for a long walk, and I was kind of pepped up for that because it was like, yeah, this will be great. But on the other hand, I was like, how is it this hot still at 9:30 at night? I also worked out yesterday, which is probably why I'm laying down now. And what I found is I did less meals. I did a program called Pump, and it's like hand weights and a barbell and squats. And I've always been very proud of the fact that my squats are on point. Like, I love lunges. I love squats. They're really not difficult for me. I don't know what happened, but man, Yesterday was a struggle. My legs hurt so bad. My weakest area is my arms because I just always been very weak on my arms. And I found that I didn't really struggle too much with that. Now, granted, I could up my weights, but I think what happened is that I carry Charlie and I'm not necessarily walking and working out and doing RPM. So my legs have not stayed strengthened. I think that's what happened. So, anyways, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to finish my nap before Donnie gets home. Then we got to drain and see what the rest of the tonight brings. So, oh well, that's my life right now. Hope yours is going well. Drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.